Now, read all the stories that you want about Sri Lanka's president. The word that stands out, it's controversial. Few leaders divide opinion like Gotabaya Rajapaksa does. His political career, it's a clear case of glass half empty or half full. He is credited for the end of the LTTE and a 30-year-long war. He's also accused of war crimes and for crippling Sri Lanka's economy. Who exactly is Gotabaya Rajapaksa? He is known as the Terminator, a nickname he was given for crushing the LTTE. Gotabaya was born to a prominent political family in Sri Lanka's southern district of Matara. He joined the Ceylon army in 1971. Soon after, he led the fight against the liberation tigers of Tamil Eelam. After retiring from the army, he studied information technology, worked in the United States as a systems administrator. Over 3 decades later, Gotabaya Rajapaksa was the man at the helm. A lot of credit goes to his elder brother and former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. Now, when Mahinda ran for presidency in 2005, Gotabaya returned from the United States to help him. Sri Lanka was a nation full of conflict. In the first decade of this millennium, multiple efforts at a prolonged ceasefire failed. Negotiations between the Sri Lankan government and LTTE led to nowhere. The national security suffered due to ethnic tensions. Mahinda installed Gotabaya as the defence minister, carried out a ruthless war on the LTTE. Sri Lanka won the civil war in 2009 after the death of the LTTE leader. For the majority community in Lanka, Gotabaya, he was a hero, a war hero. But for others, he was a war criminal. Rajapaksa came to power on a manifesto promising vistas of prosperity and splendour. But it was his policies that wrecked the country's economy. The former soldier marketed his lack of political expertise as a virtue, but his apparent strength was actually his weakness. His lack of political knowledge showed in the way that he worked. He flip-flopped from one crisis to another. Rajapaksa's tenure was marked by policy U-turns. Now, critics say he revoked more than 100 government decrees. It earned him the name Gazette Reverse. So how did the situation get so bad? There are many reasons for this. First, there was rampant economic mismanagement. Then, there were ill-timed tax cuts. And the pandemic was the final nail in the coffin. Under Rajapaksa, Sri Lanka defaulted on its foreign debt for the first time in April. The country declared bankruptcy and inflation soared in June. The once prosperous country recorded its worst recession and protests broke out across the island nation. People wanted him out. Hashtag #GoToGoHome became a trending hashtag on social media. For Sri Lanka's influential Buddhist clergy, he was the reincarnation of a Sinhalese warrior king. Rajapaksa fled less than 3 years into his rule. His resignation will make him Sri Lanka's shortest-lived, directly elected president. And for more on this, we're now being joined by Rohana Etriachi, who is the Executive Director of PAFREL. Welcome to the broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us at this time. Now, the political chaos continues in Sri Lanka. Let's just talk about the immediate challenges that Ranil Wickremesinghe faces now as the acting president. What can you tell us?
Yeah, that is really the unfortunate situations that the leader of this country, whatever they promised, they were unable to achieve, implement. The biggest issue here now, people don't have trust with the president or either prime minister, because whatever they pledge, they didn't follow their own pledge or own promises. So especially the youth group and most of the citizens of this country, they are not happy with the existing government. So they want to reappoint the interim government without the existing political leaders, especially the president and the prime minister. I think nobody is willing to continue with them.
Right, absolutely. Now, the nation also does not have the luxury to put its economic crisis on the back burner. What do you think is the way forward?
Well, until we establish the interim national unity government with the consensus of all the political parties, you can't even think about the economic crisis, because nobody will support us if we are not stable, if we can't set up a stable government in Sri Lanka, and most of the people who are outside the country, they are not sending their money through the legal system. But if we manage to change the government, and if we manage to bring the trustworthy government, even Sri Lankan people, they will send their money through the legal system. And also the international community may support us. So the first initiation should be the establishment of the national unity government. But unfortunately, until the president resigns officially, you can't go for the interim government, because according to the law, the parliament doesn't elect the new president until the present president officially resigns. So they run away. I mean, this is a very sad situation in the country. The president run away in this crisis. That is not their responsibility as the political leaders.
Right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast with your insights on the situation. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.